Hi guys, ngayon outside of
On your left-hand side, you
Portugal
continue to see
proper
the same kind of fortresses that we saw
fortress,
this morning. And to
outside
the
of,
right-hand side, we
outside
have
of
some
Portugal
signs
naman
saying
tayo
restaurant, hotel.
mamasyal.
There's also a few golf courses
At
that way. It's a
ito yung
private condominium
fortress
there.
na isa sa
As you look to your right-hand
marami
side, you can see
dito sa
the pine trees that started to grow horizontally.
lugar na
This is due
Sintra
to
ang
all
tawag
of the wind
dito sa
we usually
Portugal.
have around here.
Pakinggan
This
natin
is
yung tour
usually a
guide.
very windy area. So not like Cascais, the center, because that's a bay, so it's protected from all of the wind. If you continue to look to your right hand side, you're going to see the mountain range right there. That's where we are going now. And then on the left you can see the fishermen there, on the rocks there, the rock formations. Then you can also see exactly the restaurants I was telling you about, the ones that mostly focus on fish and seafood.
So, yun. Kagaling na namin sa isang beachfront resort rin na ang tawag ay Kakay. At ngayon papunta naman kami sa Sintra. Unlike sa Kakay, ito medyo rocky yung formation ng papunta sa fronting the beach, pero marami pa rin mga tao nagfi-fishing. Pagkatapos very well known ito lalo na dito sa Europe. Ang dami mga European pupunta dito at ang dami mga mayaman na bumibili ng mga bahay dito. Tingnan nyo, isa yan, no? May lighthouse pero akala nyo sa gobyerno, pero actually private properties mga yan. So,
straight ahead you can already see the mountain range and the cliff of the mountain, and that is precisely Cape of Roca. We're all going to be able to see it on our left hand side. At the top there's even a lighthouse there. So Cape of Roca, or Roca's Cape, that is the westernmost point of continental Europe. So that's as close as you can be from the United States. Actually, it would be the state of New York. We cannot forget about the islands of the Azores in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That's why we really have to say continental Europe. Cape of Roca was also or still is known as a Finisterre. Finisterre, that comes from the Latin, and that translates to the end of the world. That was the end of the world for the Europeans before we found out about the existence of other continents. Before even we found out that the world was round, because that was really the end of the world as we knew it. From that point on, it was just water, and eventually we would fall from the world. That's what we believed in.
so yun, narinig nyo.
And all of this area is already part of a park, a natural park, a protected area called Sintra Cascais.
Ganda ng mga resort, grabe. Alam nyo guys, itong travel namin na pamulat sa pag-iisip ko na mas lalo talaga tayong yun, ganda, ang dami nagbi-beach, mas lalo
So usually
talaga.
this area is just so windy that they have to clean the road from all of this sand that is blown onto the road. On your left hand side, there's another fortress, all painted in yellow, and that used to be a fortress, but then it was adapted into a hotel and a restaurant with 1 Michelin star. It's called the Fortress of Guincho. Guincho is the name of the area where we are at the moment. So the next beach you'll see on your left hand side, that's Guincho Beach. and it's one of the beaches that are chosen for surf competitions in Portugal. You can take a look here to the left. It's a little bit different than Carcavelos that we saw this morning, so this would be the intermediate level for surfing. Carcavelos in the morning for the beginners, and this would be the next level.
So, tulad ng sinasabi ko, kasi may mga kasama kami dito, mga Filipino-Americans, nakakabakasyon naman sila kahit hindi talaga, hindi talaga sila super rich sa Amerika, yung average lang, yung mga may mga trabaho, tapos ngayon na-retired na sila, pero nakaka-travel pa rin sila kasi may pension sila at nakakatrabaho pa rin sila, pa sideline sa mga hospitals, kung nurse sila, ganon. So dito ko na-realize na bakit hindi natin kaya yun. Kumbaga, bakit hindi natin pagtrabahuin, at ganon rin yung mga kasamahan namin dito. Kami lang nga ata ng asawa ko medyo bata dito lahat matatanda na. So hindi ba pwede talaga tayo trabahuin, pwede talaga natin gawin lahat para mapareho naman tayo sa ibang bansa, yung hindi tayo nabubuhay lang para para kumain, para bayaran yung bahay o yung renta ng bahay, para medisina, para tulungan na anak. Bakit hindi tayo pwede maging pareho dito sa mga kaibigan namin, mga Phil-Am? Kasi may mga bahay na sila, medyo secured ng buhay nila, kahit retired nga sila. Sabi nga nila, travel kami kahit mga 2 times a year kasi okay naman yung mga anak namin. So meron na kami mga bahay sa Amerika, fully paid na. So sayang naman kung iwanan namin lahat sa kanila. So kita niyo yung point ko, yung hindi ba yung nabubuhay tayo, yung parang isang kahig, isang tuka lang. Yung sinasabi natin meron ring quality of living. Pakinggan natin ulit.
Comes from the name Cynthia. That was its first name. Cynthia was the name of the goddess of the moon the Celts believed in. So they believed in different gods, namely gods connected to nature. That's why they named this mountain range after her, the goddess of the moon. With the centuries, this name has evolved. Nowadays, we end up calling it Sintra, and we continue to call it the mountain range of the moon. Not goddess of the moon, not anymore, but the mountain range of the moon. Here we can find not just these small towns here, and these first ones we're going to see, they're mostly chosen by surfers during summer because they can rent the houses or rent a bedroom, and then from here they can easily drive to the coast to surf. But also we can find many palaces scattered around the mountain range. These palaces, they belonged to the different members of the Portuguese royal family, and today we're going to focus on one of those palaces, the National Palace of Sintra, which is the oldest palace we can find in this mountain range. It's a palace that started to be built in the 1300s. Imagine that. So 14th century. So very, very old.
Wow, ganda.
So that is part of the
Ibang klase
World
nito,
Heritage
guys.
Site.
Marami na tayo nakita sa Spain.
Its
Maganda.
flora. So the flora of the mountain range. So we can find lots of pine trees, oak trees, eucalyptus, lots of them, palm oak trees, cork oak trees, olive trees, you name it. There's also something very specific to Portugal. I don't know if you have already seen this in any other country, but well, it's not just to Portugal, but also in Spain they also have it. There's something called strawberry tree. I'm not talking about strawberries, it's really the name of the species. It's what we call strawberry tree, and we're talking about these very small fruits, round ones, like a cherry, but They're orange, and we can make a liqueur out of them. We even say if we eat too many from the tree, it can get us drunk. But that, I think, it's more of a myth. They're very sweet, and they can be found in this mountain range as well. Coming to Sintra always makes me travel back in time, especially in the roads that we're going to see next. Very narrow and somewhat winding roads. We have to try to travel back in time to a time that these roads were not covered in or were not paved. They were just dirt roads, and we can also try to imagine those ladies with their dresses, long and wide dresses, walking along the roads, or even the carriages pulled by horses going up and down the mountain. We can now easily drive through the mountain range. There's basically one main road here, but we're going to keep on the lowest part of the mountain range. That's where we want to go. That's where the palace that we're going to visit is located. But there's more palaces, and there's a few that are located on the upper part of the mountain range, and for those, well, people that want to visit those, they cannot go there with a coach. I still remember a time that we could. It was still legal to go up there with a coach like this, but I also remember the screams from my guests. They would be screaming from the top of their lungs on the way up because they could see the fall just right there. That's why we can no longer take our coach to the upper part of the mountain.
So, yun guys, tulad ng sinasabi ko, kung hindi lang talaga corrupt ang gobyerno natin, kung hindi lang talaga palpak ang gobyerno natin, at walang malasakit sa Pilipino, sa taong bayan, sana nabubuhay tayo, may quality of life. At ang ibig ko sabihin sa quality of life, kung hindi lang tayo nabubuhay para paaralin yung mga anak natin, kumain ng 3 beses, Jollibee paminsan-minsan, pero yung meron rin tayong time mag-travel, meron rin tayong time mag-relax, meron rin tayong time ma-enjoy naman ang buhay. Kasi dyan sa bansa natin parang simulat pinanganak hanggang namatay, tuloy-tuloy ang trabaho, walang relaxation, kasi ang hirap-hirap ng buhay. Kasi KKB tayo dyan, kanya-kanyang bayad sa healthcare, sa social care, lahat. Walang paki ang gobyerno. So, ito talagang among bagay-bagay na na-realize ko dito. And dapat gumawa talaga tayo ng hakbang. Wag itigil yung laban sa katiwalian at masamang pamumuno ng taga-gobyerno. So, ready naman na tayo na baka malapit na kami sa destination namin dito sa Sintra. See you in my next vlog, and thank you for watching.